This winter, a classic spy movie with a twist, a Chinese foreign minister and his secret lover, a mission to deliver a top nuclear file to Washington, D.C., and a love of life and death, the clash of the CIA, MI6, FIS, featuring shirtless Dictator 1 and honey-loving Dictator 2. Starring Gang, is he dead or rotting in a cell somewhere? Fu Xiaotian, who is your baby daddy? And a slew of spy thriller casts. This is US-China Spy War 2 from Russia with Love.
Welcome to China Insider, I'm David Zhang. I swear to you, if the CCP falls, I want to interview Fu Xiaotian and Gang just about this period of time and what they went through. If they're still alive, that is, of course. So the saga of spy war between the US and China continues, and now it features Russia as the third player. According to longtime Asia blog Asia Sentinel, their sources revealed that Gang leaked China's missile secrets to the US, partially resulting in 70 or more Chinese military officials in the process of being purged. Asia Sentinel also revealed that it was the same day, June 25th, that when Gang received Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Rudenko that he was arrested and disappeared. And it was almost around the same time that the commander of the Chinese rocket force, or the PLA rocket force, Li Yuchao, was also disappeared. And according to Asia Sentinel, it was Putin who had revealed this information about the leak of the intel to Xi Jinping during the March visit to Russia. And it was then that they started some sort of an internal investigation inside the CCP. And that's why my badly voiced over trailer sort of opening is, that's where I got the idea from. And so now you see a little bit like the tip of the iceberg of this shadow spy war between the US and China. It's like a movie, you're getting the third-party involvement from Russia's Putin. And you have a military branch, you have a horse-riding dictator, you have a honey-loving dictator, and then you have a couple. Before we continue, Blueberry Creative has started their Christmas and New Year's sale, which now you can get some of the greatest product at one of the lowest price of the year. For example, the Taiwan High Mountain Tea, and you can get the Sohua Su Comfort Balancing Set at just $110, which is the lowest price anywhere on the web, including places like its own website and Sephora, as well as products like this Estee Lauder Night Repair Set. Now guys, if you don't know what these brands are, just ask your wife, girlfriend, or somebody in your family. I'm sure they know exactly what we're talking about here. Guys, it's the holiday season, and around this time, if you're still struggling to find that good gift for your loved ones, especially if there are women in the family, well, then come to the shop. At these sets, once you get them, they're definitely going to be loved by those who receive the gift, as well as this is one of the best products out there at the lowest price of the year, so you definitely don't want to miss it out. Now, these are all very limited quantity, so after these get sold out, they won't ever return with such a low price. There's really no time to wait. Now, those that are on sale right now do not enjoy the 15% discount with my code David, but you can still browse and purchase any other things on the shop and still get that 15% for those items. And if you spend $70 or more, you can also get free shipping with all your products. So hurry up, get your gift before Christmas. Now, here are 3 quick reasons as to why Gang's disappearance is so important and why Putin's involvement is also really important to know. Number 1, it tells us that those around Xi Jinping, his close confidants, his followers, they're disloyal and they're planning something. They're conspiring to do something, remove him from power or whatnot. But this is drawing an internal purge within the Communist Party as well as the PLA, which is the People's Liberation Army. And second, it is also important to know that Russia's involvement is somehow related to it doesn't want China to move away from its China-Russia alliance in the Russian-Ukraine conflict, in that it doesn't want China to hop off the Putin-Xi train. And the third is that, according to leaked intel, it would expose China's military weaknesses, its nuclear information, readiness, arsenal power, as well as equipment procurement. All of these things were probably involved in the intelligence leak. So let's quickly summarize what's really going on here. According to Asia Sentinel, Russia learned of Gang's involvement sometimes before March of this year. And again, this has to do with top Chinese missile secrets. And then during the March visit by Xi Jinping to Russia, Putin discussed this with Xi Jinping. Remember, during that time, Gang had just become the foreign minister and ascended to be the state counselor in March. Now, if we combine the recent Nikkei Asia article as well as the political article, it seems to make sense in terms of the time. Because when Gang became foreign minister, then they sent a delegation to Ukraine in May. It sounds like Gang, who is relatively more pro-America compared to the other foreign ministry officials, that this was in Russia's favor or in Putin's favor to remove Gang, to remove that pro-America influence that's within the CCP right now. And here is where I think, after hearing from Putin that this is something going on inside the CCP, that he launched an investigation into Fu Xiaotian, who is the secret lover of Gang. And then on April 25th, Fu Xiaotian was lured back into China for something. According to Asia Sentinel, it was supposed to be a meeting. Of course, that never took place. She likely disappeared right as she got off the plane. And according to many different versions of this story, Fu Xiaotian is the one who actually were more likely to have leaked the intel rather than Qin Gang himself. Of course, during some sort of torture or interrogation, Fu Xiaotian confessed, and of course, that led to Qin Gang's involvement, which if Putin was telling Xi Jinping that already in March, then that means they just double confirmed Qin Gang was actually involved in the situation. And then, of course, when June 25th came, when the Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Rudenko came to visit, Qin Gang was the one who received him, but right after that, he disappeared. And so then following in July, we started noticing that Qin Gang hasn't appeared in public for a while, so people started questioning the Foreign Ministry, which of course they gave no answer to, and then we started getting two sets of information. One side, it was about the rumor between Fu Xiaotian and Qin Gang, their alleged secret affair while he was the US ambassador. And then the other side was that somehow this also related to the intelligence leak involving the rocket force. So that explains the two branches of the story. They're in fact both related. And now, once again, Asia Sentinel being, I think, the third publication to confirm that Qin Gang is either dead, rotting in cell, but they will never see the light of day again. And of course, Fu and Qin share a child together named Erkin. We don't know the whereabouts of this baby right now. It's pretty tragic, but it seems to be the case so far. And in fact, it was Fu Xiaotian's rather cryptic and interesting social media posts that hint at the relationship that really drew a lot of people in first. Of course, initially people thought that Qin Gang was in trouble for extramarital affairs, but again, that's never the main reason as to why he is being purged. Of course, if he was investigated for purely just the extramarital aspect, his investigation would have been done for a few days if that was the only thing he was in trouble for. As we see so far, his whereabouts or his punishments or his crimes are still unknown, which leads many people, including myself, to think that the situation is much more severe than what we can all imagine. And then almost at the same time, so there's this branch, right? Qin Gang and Fu Xiaotian. Then there's the military purge. Now we know that there's at least 70 plus military officials, including the commanding officer or former commanding officer of the rocket force, equipment procurement. These all have to do with access to either nuclear secrets or missiles or some sort of a top-level information. And all that is jumbled together. And from what I know, and now many have revealed, the reason Qin Gang would be dead is he did something so treacherous, or so treasonous, in fact, that there's no way to let him go, despite him being favored by Xi Jinping. And that idea itself is still hard to grasp and comprehend if you think about it. Qin Gang has a bright future in the idea of, being able to climb the political ladder in the CCP. So why would he risk all of that just to deliver intel to the number one enemy, right? The opposition. It doesn't make sense from a perspective of that. And it makes me wonder, did Qin Gang watch too many 007 films? Was he thinking that he is a double agent or some sort? So his actual involvement, that process is still a mystery. Now, there were also rumors now suggesting that Qin Gang might have been involved or was a big part of a coup d'etat, which I think failed. But in that coup, what would happen is Qin Gang would be installed as the leader instead, after removing Xi, of course, so that he was sort of like the front person for this coup. And of course, if that ended badly, that means that Qin Gang was also implicated in that sense. What I do know is that rumors have been saying, as well as some very good sources also tell us, that everyone around Xi Jinping, those that he thinks that he believes in or is following him loyally, or those people that simply, they're surrounding Xi Jinping, every single one of them has a reason for hating Xi Jinping, whether that's the way he's done to the economy, the way he's running the country, or just some personal garage, whatever, right? Everybody knows that there is a huge amount of pressure and you can say hatred towards Xi Jinping, even within the party. So naturally, it makes sense that somebody, even if we think that they're loyal to Xi Jinping, that they could be conspiring something against him. But I really have to question how Russia was able to get this information if we are to believe that this originally was coming from Putin, because if it was the case of leaking some very important detail of the Chinese military to the Americans, it had to be done through a very important, very secretive communications channel. And there's no way that the American government or the CIA would let this just randomly get leaked out to other intelligence agencies unless maybe there's some plant inside the CIA or something. Either way, that information eventually was leaked. What I'm thinking is also possible is that this was known in the CCP. And in order for this information to hurt or harm Qinggang, it was then sent to Russia as sort of you're exporting the intelligence, right? So it's also, again, to disguise the fact that this came or leaked from within the party as to say, this is a foreign intel, this is not a domestic intel. Maybe they were trying to get rid of Qinggang anyways, so that they used this opportunity because he had done something like this. Either way, it's very strange how Russia's involvement is growing every time a new article comes out. And really, in the end, one question remains: why would Qinggang do this? Was it for some sort of a revenge? Was it some sort of becoming this protagonist in a movie that we have no idea about, where he kind of turns around and becomes a good guy? Was he really thinking this way? Is he truly the uncanny ally that the United States needed? And this was something that he was willing to risk his life for. What was he fighting for? All that, we might have to wait for US-China Spy War 3 Electrical Boogaloo. I don't know. But anyways, that's it for today's episode on how Qinggang's death is getting more interesting and Russia's involvement too. And if you enjoy the content, leave a like, comment below your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel today. Until next time, bye-bye.